little bit ahead in lane. Overall, though, C9's team comp still makes a lot of sense.
Final pick of the draft is the Alistar for Ignar, so there's some engage, some extra appeal.
Don't win the split. Weirdly enough, the loser of this game is the only one on to win the split 1 out of 7 splits. That was 100 Thieves in 2021 summer. It's mostly coincidence,
okay,
but it is interesting, I find, that Cloud9 has been so good.
At this point, the expectation for Cloud9 is this qualification, is fighting for the trophy. NRG has been a top, clawing their way up here, but Blabber brings the crash down in its first blood over to C9.
If it's just the fact that they're thinking about scaling for Worlds, or if they actually can't put it together.
And remember, we've mentioned it before already. NRG is one of the squads that's figured them out before. Nice! Ignar going in with a pulverized headbutt follow-up, and they give the money over to FBI. NRG.
The white gun. The Rift Herald is weirdly
What is happening?
It's just
Shelly,
stuck.
turn the corner. Okay, there we go.
Get in there.
There we go.
625 gold as well as the
huge
gold. Look at that total gold now, 500 ahead for Aphelios. M&S getting a lot of plates on the other side, but I think critically the fact that Aphelios is ahead
on plate, the gold difference hasn't really changed much as Blabber flashes in. Magnet Storm on 2 targets, Shattering Strike looking to keep Ignar locked down. M&S going underneath the turret looking for FBI. He fires out the Moonlight Vigil and he takes M&S down as the fight into the river may just be able to favor NRG now. Blabber's in the middle of 4 and he ain't walking away from this one. Contracts locks him down, Palafox blows him up. Now Fudge has to try to get out. NRG turning around beautifully. M&S got weight.
But how do you team fight? He goes in here, but no one is actually there to follow up. Berserker can't fly over the wall, and then this attempted solo kill happened again.
Yeah, hit it before it finds any value.
C9's in river first as well, so Dokla's trying to make his way back in, but you can see they didn't have any mid-pressure with Palafox being top, so even though the Herald dropped, that couldn't get them, and now they're trying to use Maokai ult to clear out the river.
Maokai ult flies through, now Sven could be the one in some trouble. Ignar flies in after him, already has the ulti activated, but he won't get anything else, and it looks like the damage is going to be back into the NRG support. C9 got a little bit wild, and now the Dragon is once again the target. Blabber dropping the Magnet Storm, looking for contracts as he makes his way into the pit, but he's going to be burned down before anything else happens. Sven now targeted next. Dokla picking one up. It'll be a 1-for-1 so far, and NRG ain't done yet. Blabber's gonna get burned. A double kill over to the Croc. Fudge picks another one back up as FBI falls. M&S tries to get away, but Dokla will slice and dice his way to a triple kill.
All right, this is officially a mess.
Yes!
Because that could have been a 3rd Dragon taken for C9, but they try and take too much. M&S going for that mid turret, throws everything into chaos, so pulls Berserker off the Drake, which lowers their DPS and allows Dokla approach into river, and it ultimately secures NRG, the Drake, and a
Shock Blast over the wall finds Fudge, but nobody else. They're using Maokai ulti to try to keep him away here from the Drake. It's going to be secured by FBI as Blabber went into the field. It's a massive pulverize coming out onto 3 targets, but M&S is still safe and free firing back on the contracts. Fudge goes on a killing spree, and C9 get a 1-for-0 here at the start. FBI's booted up, but he's got about 1 million chakrams. He flashes back away. The damage pours into the Cloud9 health bars. M&S about to be caught as Dokla's in the middle of 3, and he's not going to be able to get away either. Palafox goes over the wall, to the skies, to the ground. M&S from NRG, they see what's going on now. Dokla's in bottom lane. It's teleporting into the pit now. The Baron's down to 1,300. Dokla comes in, but it's going to be secured by Blabber already. But what about the fight? C9 have lost M&S. Sven tries to get away. Ignar may have been taking a chunk of damage, but he's already got the ulti back, so he's ready to go. Contracts chases down Sven. Blabber will fall too. It's a Baron for... NRG's not going to get a 4th, but they're going to use this momentum to take down a turret in mid, another turret in top, and punish the C9 Baron.
Yeah, I don't think that actually advantages either team. I think it's a pretty even trade. Berserker hit 3 items on Kai'Sa, which made C9 feel confident to start the Baron, but then the flip
mechanism. Otherwise, he was in danger of falling too, as Sven has been caught in the enemy jungle, trying to go on a little bit too deep of a warding mission without close enough help. Meant that NRG could pick up a 3 down in bottom lane. C9 with control over the Drake pit, control over the river. Ignar jumps in and knocks Blabber back into the pit. Accelerated shock blast over the wall. FBI ulti hits 2. Blabber's very low, but the Drake also is low. Magnet Storm back on multiple targets. FBI's in the middle of everybody. They haven't killed him yet, but Fudge goes in for the shutdown, and C9 finally find a fight. They've taken out the enemy AD carry, mid, jungler, all. Only Dokla's left standing besides Ignar, man. C9, triple kill for Fudge. They'll slam that fight.
Oh, C9, what's the saying? The gold is even in 25 minutes, then C9 wins a team fight. That's just how it seems to go, but it's what we talked about. FBI, no flash, unable to free hit in this fight because... Stopwatch this fight. Palafox has a broken stopwatch. That hasn't turned into GA yet. That last fight was really the blueprint for how C9 wants to play. They might try again here.
Yeah, Contract instantly getting chunked for half HP there thanks to the Kai'Sa. TP arrives as Dokla's ready to join up with the rest of NRG, but C9 have already dispersed. Meanwhile, M&S was still up here in the top lane, applying pressure to the turrets. Trist does this so effectively. P already. C9 shreds through this thing with 2 marksmen.
It's a flip.
Contracts wants to get in there. The Maokai ulti's already found its way, but Blabber's found the smite. C9, they bring in Fudge for reinforcements. If NRG want the fight, they're going to have to take it 5v5. Blabber over the wall there. Shattering Strike into the crash down. They found the enemy jungler. They drop the depth charge of the FBI and force him into the stopwatch as Berserker goes into the back. The Kai'Sa is diving and C9 is thriving. A double kill for their AD carry as FBI tries to get one, but immediately falls to the counter-strike damage. Ignar wants to get out, but there's just no way. It's a 5-for-1. It's the end of the game. The Baron fight for C9.
Berserker flew in off of just a Nautilus ultimate to start that fight onto FBI. Realized he couldn't finish it off, flashed over the wall, but then just solo killed Palafox after burning so much on FBI. C9 take game 1.
C9 will march this one in. There's no way these timers are going to be short enough to give NRG a chance. The Nexus turrets are down. It was a back and forth bloody game, but C9's team fighting saved.
This will be Ezreal stays mid lane, wave clears forever, and then we have LeBlanc and Kha'Zix wreaking havoc on the side lanes, assuming they can get ahead.
And that's a Kai'Sa mid too.
Yeah, on the other
Thing
side.
to note what happened on the screen right there. Berserker's reaction times are easily fast enough to reactively block the Shattering Strike from Ignar's Rel, but Fudge and Blabber now looking for Dokla, ready to flash follow as the Ornn tries to get away. Blabber staying on top of him for the aftershock proc, and it's first blood to the
In the pattern, C9 have been challenged by NRG.
Oh, M&S jumping back in after Palafox here. Flash for the auto attack to finish him off. 6 here on the Sejuani. Contracts also level 6 on KazaLoLLCShighlights as Palafox jumps in for a trade on M&S, but it's Blabber who arrives first and slightly misses the ult. Now M&S in trouble as Contracts shows up and the bug is hungry. Palafox ends up taking the first kill as Contracts flashes over the wall to try to escape from Blabber. Palafox trying to keep Blabber rooted up in place here, make sure they can't chase down his jungler.
Ornn's own level. So whenever he calls his ultimate, even if he maxes Q, he actually ends up doing a significant amount of max health.
Actually gets you out and what keeps you alive. So you need to have that damage, but they're going to look for a dive on top side.
Yeah, they want to kill Dokla before he can even hit the second part of the Ornn horn. They'll slice, they'll dice. It's easy. Up here ready to play around this. Fudge and M&S now working together up in the top lane to take down that first turret of the game. Charge. There we go. Not quite enough to finish off the turret, and NRG's going to pop it immediately thereafter. Blabber coming in, finds the stun into Contracts. They want to try to dogpile the enemy junglers. Ven is low, but so is Dokla. M&S grabs the kill on Dokla to start things off, and Ignar's not going to escape as he tries to get out.
Everything off of that. Blabber just pulled the trigger, I think, a lot more quickly than NRG was expecting. Yes, Contract is able to jump out and survive, but that means he can't re-enter the fight. Now M&S potentially caught.
Yeah, M&S jumped on True Shot Barrage over the top to finish him off. Nice pick up there from NRG to at least get something on the back
On the
end.
towers, he got the solo kill, so Cloud9 way out as far as the gold is concerned, and they're going to have some pretty powerful carries here.
Power spike disadvantage. Nice reaction there from Berserker to just make sure the True Shot Barrage can't do anything to him. You've already got
Where are you at in the Kai'Sa Mythic discussion? Because he is going to be going Rage Blade. A lot of people are very opinionated about that.
Oh, hold on. Contract's getting locked down as he tried to find a potential pick on Sven, who still escapes off to the side. The Ornn horn goes through, but it's Ignar who's about to drop first. Blabber kills him with the second part of Sejuani's W as Palafox at least cleans up Sven and makes it a 1-for-1. Dokla's trying to get away now, but Berserker is fired up and ready to go with the Sivir speed. Blabber keeps the chase alive, going after Palafox.
Quickly and fast, as Fudge is looking for this pick on top lane.
Palafox gonna need to get away from 2 here. Fudge gonna go pop the early Dominus, get that Fury charging. Palafox wants to kite him around here with the chains. A lot of burst damage onto the LeBlanc. He resets his position back into the alcove, but Blabber's got him, no problem. C9.
Scale up hasn't really gone into their favor because the mid jungle from NRG, while there's been glimpses, it really has just all been C9 this game as they start up the Baron again.
Berserker getting caught here. Yes, he spell shields the crash down, but FBI following it up. Nice shutdown on the enemy marksman. C9 still got that Baron at about 4,000 HP. True Shot Barrage flies through. Contracts on the back side of the wall. C9's got to be careful about this when they don't just want to give this objective away to NRG. Ornhorn summoned, Dokla going in, seeing if they might be able to find another kill now onto Fudge as Ignar's burst low, but not before he can find a Magnet Storm. Sven wanted to go after FBI, but he won't find him. Now Blabber's stuck in the middle of 4. C9 has made a crucial mistake, and Contracts finds a shutdown. FBI still looking to chase these guys. Fudge has the ulti ready to go again, but he's slowed down. The Rockets, the Kazakhs, a triple kill for Contracts, and M&S will fall, taking one with him. It's a 5 for 2, and NRG.
Now in this sequence, it was Ezreal doing the poking. The one before this, it was LeBlanc. But because there's so much chip damage on the Blabber for relatively free, it's very easy. With the isolation damage onto the Baron, that definitely would have been Baron. That's why I said, like, I believe they'll get it, because Kazakh is fantastic at melting single target neutral objectives.
Dokla. This could be a pretty bad situation.
Fudge throws down the gauntlet, and he's going to kill the Dokla here. That's going to be a solo kill.
Ready to go. A little bit more damage. Chases through him there. Waited on the second part of the slice and dice to chase the Ornn through his own dash, and Fudge cuts him down. The pure 1v1 on the bottom side of the map.
That's pretty big, and
realistically speaking, both mythics are great for her as they make the pick here.
Ooh, M&S, Killer Instinct. The shield is enough to keep him alive, get him back underneath the tier 2 turret. C9 ready to reinforce. Blabber goes in for the ulti, but it's going to be dodged. However, there's no way home for the NRG side. C9 know this. They're still trying to burn the Baron. Palafox jumps in for a little bit more poke as Fudge approaches from below. Secured Baron for Contract, not for Contracts. It's over to Blabber and C9. C9 continuing their chase now as Dokla and FBI try to kite back into their own jungles. Ben gets himself back out with a battle dance as Berserker takes out Dokla. FBI tagged with a Void Seeker and a bouncing Boomerang Blade. A shutdown over to Berserker as Ignar tries to escape, but it's a triple for the C9 AD carry. Palafox jumping back over the wall, trying to distort something, trying to find some kind of a kill on the back end of the fight. Contracts is coming in. He finds Blabber, immediately gets the first kill. Now M&S has to try to escape, and Contracts looks for more. Flash into the queue, but it's not quite enough.
And his enormous health bar with how fed he is this game. Oh my, another pick here.
Yeah, Contracts just has no chance. He's isolated, so he takes...
You get to interact with her, which is a privilege you don't always get playing against Kaisa.
yeah, she's often 4 screens away one shot to you, so.
That all-important Cyril's Grudge. Tanks do a really good job of just eating the Qs. And because they could ignore him either, so he just ran over NRG in their jungle and
space for Sven and Blabber and Fudge. They just have to create that opportunity for Berserker to auto-attack.
Unfortunately, Dokla's had a bit of a stinker this game, so he's been much weaker than what we're used to seeing from an Ornn in mid-game.
Blabber goes in. They immediately lock down Palafox as he has to distort away. Ignar's going to be caught by Sven with the grand entrance off to the side, and Fudge's follow-up guarantees a pick on the enemy.
Of your jungle, it's only going to spell disaster.
M&S could be caught here. Long-range Ornhorn not going to connect thanks to the stasis. Palafox needs a little bit more burst. Contracts going in, but Fudge is too much of a brick wall. M&S turns it around with a kill on Contracts. They're going to be traded 1-for-1 back and forth. Sven and Fudge still pushing forward as Blabber joins the mix. Berserker's behind him, but Sterix has been popped. Palafox and Dokla trying to fight back as FBI provides the firepower. The chains have found their way onto the front line, and Blabber gets cut down. Fudge barely escapes with 200 HP, and Palafox is still looking to see...
Items are through.
TP coming in as NRG want to stop this Baron from C9, but it's already down to 2,000 and Contracts can't get into the pit. Dokla summons up the Ornhorn, but Blabber's leading the charge for C9. Fudge coming in from the side, hasn't popped
a champion to hit is exactly how they want to play this composition. Unfortunately,
top lane, they've got M&S back in bot, dealing with Palafox in the 1v1. These two are going in. M&S tries to go in for the Killer Instinct. Palafox is going to drop. C9
start to push in here. You can see Sivir staying top lane, trying to escort in that wave. But it's still a while before that next wave comes in through top, but they will knock down the mid lane inhibitor, and then they can threaten to actually cut off any NRG members from that top lane tower, secure that as well. So it's going to be 2 inhibs going away at Cloud9 without even a fight in the base.
And now they're going to reinforce with Fudge too. There's still 20 seconds before Palafox comes back to life. C9's looking to push for those Nexus turrets now. Fudge pops the Dominus. Dokla's here on the front line, but he's melting very quickly. Has to flash back to the fountain steps as Ignar's also at half HP. Counterattack comes through with the Ornn ulti, but there's no follow-up. C9 are just absolutely bruising NRG right back into their fountain, as you can see them trying to regain their position and keep the waves at bay. First Nexus turret finally dies, and Palafox is back on the rift. C9 won't be able to hard force the end of the game just yet, but they're going to continue kiting back. NRG seeing if there's any chase to be found. Keep your eyes on Contracts. Nothing else. Nothing gonna happen.
One really big thing about the theme of this game has really been C9's large cooldowns. The Rakan ultimate, the Sejuani ultimate, and the Sivir ultimate. When these go off, if NRG manages to survive the initial engage, it looks like they can fight back and try to somewhat counter as Ignar gets picked off there, trying to get some vision.
Couldn't survive the initial engage.
Pretty much, right?
in those situations in particular. Contracts, though, going for a bit of a YOLO play here. Just recognizes you got to do something. But I think Jimenez wins the Assassin War against him. Yeah, that's Kaisa, and you're not Kaisa.
Q is
Let's feel the pressure. Contract went for the 1v1 on the side lane down bottom. Now, Palafox doing the same as all the ultimates get thrown.
Ooh, FBI trying to kite this one out, but they've caught him. He's gone. C9 having killed the enemy jungler, support, and AD carry should just be able to march this in for the full Nexus here in game number 2. Last remaining Nexus turret's your target. Dokla summons up the ulti for a last-ditch attempt, but he only hits Fudge with the knock-up. He's fine staying on the front with a Sterix Gauge. Magnet Storm onto 2 targets, but it is not enough. There's no damage for NRG. There's no way to hold on. C9 takes the dub. They're going to match point.
really strong performance.
This is, like I mentioned, a lot of scaling.
No. Okay, so when I saw Faker pull this out, I was like, I do not want to see a return to Corgi.
About it back in game 1, how Jackson, the way that Counter-Strike interacts with the wave, just allowing you to force it up, can take control early versus Renekton, but with Contracts making another visit, they're going to look for this. They force the flash at least, so Fudge getting away with that one. Meanwhile, back in bottom lane, it's Ignar, 100 HP. He tried to flash, but it won't matter. Berserker's got him back up in the top lane. It's a 2v2 at the same time. Blabber's joined the party. Fudge is low, but he's got the Counter-Strike ready to turn it around. Contracts locks him down with a Root Caller, and now they need just a little bit more damage to finish him off. Dokla goes for the flash, call the Meek, and that's going to be a kill back over to NRG.
Unless Fudge wastes Counter-Strike, I don't think there's any realistic chance he can make it happen.
Back in mid, Blabber looking for the Shattering Strike on Palafox, but Palafox makes sure he walks as far down as he can while heading back to the turret to avoid that. Then going in, locking down the enemy support again. They try to turn it back on Berserker, but they won't find him. It's Ignar dropping first. FBI needs one more auto to kill off the C980 carry, but he won't find it. He has to flash.
Oh, the Feather Pull!
The Feather Pull ends up taking him down from the after the Herald now. Contract's trying to stop him here with Daisy. Gets the knock up onto Blabber. Fudge going in the brushes, completely unafraid of the Ivern. C9 going for the objective as Ignar swoops in. Dokla's got the kill on Fudge, and now NRG's going to grab a second. Yes, they may have.
He had a lot of these really incredible pop-off carry games. In summer, it hasn't really happened as Blabber's going to look for an engage.
Yeah, Blabber goes in for a 2v2, but there's the package. M&S with the delivery, and Contracts is cleaned up. Now it's Blabber who's got to be a little bit careful as Palafox follows up with a DPS. M&S flashing back over the wall, but Dokla's ready to follow here for the Rampage. FBI chasing down the Cloud9 jungler. Needs a little bit more damage, and the last auto attack finds Drake. It's the first one of the game. Very, very late first Drake. Blabber's coming up to try to challenge for it, but Contracts...
Solo queue is considered. Luden's is actually slightly more popular than Triforce. I tend to think Triforce is better, but there are also other options. I see some people go IE, you can go size a Q flash that misses because I'm not sure if it's the bug or I'm not sure if it's a mistake, right? So it does always kind of like not going to be able to actually do so. With the Amp Tome in pocket for M&S, I am now expecting that it is actually going to be that Luden's build, and they're looking for a pick on bot side.
Yeah, they want Dokla. They're dropping the Magnet Storm, so he answers with the Dominus. He's trying to put some of the damage back into Blabber, maybe fight this off a little bit. Berserker's going to be rotated down here too because they want to give the shutdown money over to the Xayah. Dokla with the flash out. Sven doesn't hit him with the dredge line. Dokla's still on the run. Palafox swoops in from the side. Fudge is killed off. Dokla just outplayed him, and NRG's played him. Everybody on C9 drops dead, and a teleport coming in from M&S to maybe find Palafox, but he just barely gets it with a burn. Ignar chasing him back over the wall here as Big Dokes wants to cut off the escape route. Contracts and Ignar don't have a whole lot of DPS, but there's not a whole lot of HP left. M&S tries to turn it back around. It's an ace!
Into the pit, they see it going on. No way they commit to this, I don't think, but it's starting to get pretty low, and I'm starting to get a little bit nervous.
Yeah, NRG really going in for that as Ignar finds an engage on Berserker, but nobody else is ready to follow up just yet. Now Dokla's got to be careful because he's a little bit overextended past the rest of his team. Baron's still at 3K. Are they going to trust Contracts to flip this Baron? Blabber is right on the very back of the pit. Palafox goes over the wall to shove Blabber back. They secure it. Gonna win those. I love the fact that they're ready to commit to these plays, that they're trusting themselves to do it right as a team.
Absolutely, you know, and I'm down for risky plays as long as the risk is weighted in your favor. It is appropriate to the situation. 1.3K gold lead has become a 3,500 gold lead here. It is going to be the flash engage from Ignar becomes an opportunity where if you can 100-0 Berserker, all of a sudden it's really, really risky. Securing vision around the dragon, so now Ivern can just walk back to it.
Oh, Dokla getting jumped on by Sven and Blabber as
Berserker,
Berserker and Palafox are in a 1v1 off to the side. Palafox chases him down! Palafox kills Berserker!
Palafox gets his flash and the kill without expending his
Berserker
flash.
dies here, catastrophic.
Catastrophic.
It is indeed that for the side of C9, as now they are going to lose their tier 2 in
TP
mid.
flank.
Control of
Double
the Drake.
TP.
Uh-oh, C9's ready to try to make some kind of a counterattack. Ibanez goes for a package. FBI flashes over the wall. C9 trying to collapse on these guys, and Ibanez has the shutdown on FBI. The catastrophe has arrived, but for what side? A shutdown on Dokla. C9 finds a
Here because no one else is around, so they are going to wisely back off. Not worth risking it for a single Cloud Dragon from this point.
with the amount of projectiles. Ignar wanted to go in, but he didn't find Berserker or anything, really. Daisy's about to drop for free as Cloud9 wants to disengage. Palafox doesn't full commit an ulti into this. Dokla's still looking. Maybe he needs to go into the pit. A nice root collar on Blabber. Magnet Storm ain't going to be enough, but now Dokla's stuck up in the front of the fight. The Hysterics won't keep him alive, and Ignar has to retreat. It'll be a 1-for-1 when it's all said and done, but C9 still has to try to get themselves back out of this one. Energy's starting up the Baron again. Ignar's got to be careful. He's at 1/4 HP, and Ibanez still has a lot of ammo. Contract and Palafox both get chunked, and Ibanez quickly makes them rethink their decisions.
Yeah, great pick onto Blabber, which could have meant more, but oh, they're going for the engage!
They're not done! Palafox finds a swoop, but it's only on Sven. Now Ibanez stuck inside the stasis. Can they find anything more? Not
Fudge!
yet. Berserker and Ibanez off to the side as Fudge makes his entrance, but he won't get a kill just yet. Berserker up into the sky, the feathers fly. Fudge trying to chase after FBI. He finds another. Ignore is down, and C9 with 3 blinking health bars wins the fight.
What a scrappy game between these two teams. Contracts took that Q, and I don't think he meant to do that. And now he's gone.
He falls to Berserker and loses even more tempo for Energy. It's
To the waiting arms of Berserker, who's able to burst him down. And what a crazy exchange. Back and forth, back and forth. What are you doing?
Audience reactions are similar to coach cams, similar to everything. People just losing their minds at the way some of these plays end up going. And
What
you
binds us
know
all together is League of
they're
Legends.
doing so. Ibanez with a package delivery over the wall, immediately bounced right back out. FBI stood on the burn and nearly died 100-0.
Yeah, that is a ridiculous amount of damage from the package. And there's the GA and a Maw on MNS. So he is built very defensively. He's going to be so tough to actually take down. And is still putting it over as far as his domination. Fudge is caught up. He's on 3 items.
And that means they can just immediately force down this tier 2. He's not Ziggs or Tristana, but he's the next closest thing. And for Energy, I'm looking at the inventories. The Sivir sitting on 3 items plus BF Sword. She really wants to have that 4th completed item by the time that Drake fight begins. Fudge tries to run away. Dokla wants to keep him locked down. They can start this off the right way. Fudge with the stopwatch at least buys enough time to stay alive, but now he's charmed up. Ignar's locked them down. Dokla's shut him down. That's one.
They only spent ultimates. They did not spend flashes because I think it can go against you. But MNS is going to get aggressive here.
MNS is already in the middle of everything, forcing the flash out of FBI again. C9 are trying to make their move. Sven escapes off to the side with a little bit of a melting so quickly. MNS is just keeping Energy away. The Baron is already dropped. It is secured by C9. A TP is coming in from Fudge, and he is ready to team fight. Ignar goes in for the grand entrance, but the timing isn't there, and Fudge just disengages. Blabber's got to be careful. Flash forward into the Magnet Storm to lock these guys down, but it won't work. FBI turns on him with an EPS. Daisy with a knock-up on Berserker as the Boomerang Blade flies out again. C9 trying to escape with their Baron. Ignar tries to lock down the enemy AD carry, but the cleanse gets Berserker away. FBI kills Sven. Dokla's into the stasis, keeping everybody else zoned. Energy, 5-man group in the mid lane, chasing C9 out.
They go
They're
mid.
pushing. They might just try to end the game. Ignar's looking to stop backs. He escapes, and C9 is still not back in their own base. Palafox is doing the same. The soldier jumps forward, and Fudge has to try to run. Energy still pushing down the mid lane. They'll take out the two.
Oh, he is
but they won't be able to go further. Palafox trying to fight Berserker, and Fudge needs a little bit more damage, and he finds the first.
MNS
Goes for the second, but a flash out from Berserker. MNS coming back over the wall, needs a little bit more damage on Palafox, and he'll kill him. Dokla and Contracts and FBI now still trying to stand and fight as MNS and Berserker step forward in a 2v3. Contracts tries to give him the shields. Berserker has nothing left. MNS will lose his Guardian Angel, but what about the last little bit of the fight here? Dokla and Contracts still looking to burn him down. The extra bit of the shield, the slow, the burst, the damage. Yeah!
No carry for Cloud9 for so long. There's potential to still end the game. We'll see if they want to make the risky play and go for it. They're posturing forward. They're clearing out multiple waves here from mid and bot, getting everything moving in their direction.
They still have the Sivir. They want to end the game. It's 7 seconds left on Fudge. FBI, he took turret aggro. They shut him down. The push is done. They won't be able to end the game right now. Sven tries to lock down Dokla for a little bit
Fudge is
more,
back.
but now they got to be careful. Fudge is back on the map. The counter-strike is ready, but
Up
Dokla...
turret aggro is so bad for them. Not only does he die, that means they lose soul, they lose full control.
I assume with package at the ready. Yep, there it is. He'll be able to make his TP, and C9 starting up the Baron. They can burn it down incredibly quickly, even with
M&S
only
is behind
two.
them.
M&S is behind. He wants the angle here for the package delivery. Dokla's already in the dominance. Energy falling back as M&S goes over the wall. Package is delivered. They've immediately got their first kill, but Cloud9 are taking a lot of AoE. Double kill back up into Berserker. He's going forward with the feathers. He'll let him fly. Palafox is done. Dokla will not be able to find a return kill into the Cloud9 marksman. And with M&S valking over the wall, I think C9 just got it. They'll need to kill Dokla through the resurrection, but it's not a problem. Fudge gets the last auto to take him down, and now there's no way out for Contract. He's stuck in a 1v2, and they'll be able to burn him down too. It's Fudge split pushing in bottom. Contracts is done. Ace for C9, and that'll be your series.
Signed, sealed, delivered. M&S gets into the back line with the package, roasting up NRG before Berserker goes crazy, flying in to secure the team fight win.
It was the closest game of the series for NRG. They made it take 42 minutes, but C9 is the Blabber for the Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you, Captain Flowers. As you just said, I've got Fudge, I've got Blabber. So, yeah, you're getting some early MVP chance already. All right, we'll see.
After that
It's for
performance?
me, by the way. No,
Yeah,
after that Jack's performance in Game 3.
Oh, yeah, the
Round
Game
two.
3
Don't
one, not the
forget about
first
the
one.
round.
Well, Fudge, I was going to talk to you last week, and you're like, nah, I didn't do anything this series against EG. Do you think you did something today?
First 2 games.
A little trouble with Dokla in Game 3?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first 2 games I played pretty well overall. I didn't make too many mistakes in like lane or in team fights, but then Game 3, disaster struck, and we got a bit too comfortable in the early game, it appears, and we fought them 2v2, lost, and I got really far behind off like a bunch of different plays. Thankfully, they kind of entered like mid-game. I mean, we did as well, I guess, but we were able to come back, and our comp does outscale with like Corki and Zaya being really OP at 6 items. So I'm glad we were able to win Game 3, but I'm not too happy with how I played Game 3.
You still brought it together, and Fudge fans can focus on Games 1 and 2.
Exactly.
Now, Blabber, I know in the post-game interview last week with NRG, Palafox, and Contracts, we're talking about how Contracts lives in your head rent-free. I asked Mithy about it. He said that he gave you a bit of a pep talk before. What are your thoughts on this entire discussion, and what can you tell me about that pep talk?
Mithy didn't really, I mean, he just said, did you watch the interview with Contract saying he lives in your rent-free? And I said, I don't really care. And then that was literally the whole talk. It wasn't really a pep talk, I'm going to be honest.
Wait, so he brought it to your attention, so you may have not even seen it, and he was like,
No,
hey,
I didn't see it. And then he was like, did you see this? He also said, for more fuel, he said, Piosik in his interview said, you're shit.
That is not word for word, but we...
Basically, that's what he said. And then, so he's like, he's trying to give me fuel, but I did not play that good today, I think, in my series. But I'm glad we won.
Yeah, you still won, and I have a cool stat to throw your way. You ready for it? There's a lot of numbers.
Okay,
Blabber
I'm
loves
ready.
stats.
I love stats. That's
Yeah,
true.
you love stats. So, Blabber, you are 1 game away from 300 games in the LCS.
Okay.
Of those with 300 games, Bjergsen currently has the best win rate.
Okay.
As of today, you have passed Sneaky for the 2nd spot in terms of best win rate within those 300 games.
Amazing.
If you win the next game, you pass Bjergsen.
So I can't lose.
Yeah, you can't lose.
All right, you heard that. We can't lose. We can't lose.
What do you think, though, of that in terms of, I know it's a lot of numbers, but it's still a really cool stat when you think about it, just your performance in those 300 games, the longevity you've had so far. How much do you index into those numbers and kind of setting those individual records and a reflection of how you've been able to perform on Cloud9?
I didn't really know about the stat, obviously, that you just listed. And it's not something that I really focus on. I just try to pretty much win split after split. Every split I play, my goal is to win it. And then right now for me, it's like, I just want to have better international performances. And that's kind of the thing that I really focus on. Obviously, I want to win the LCS, and I'm going to win the LCS this split. But yeah, like that type of stuff, I don't think about that much, I would say.
Yeah, kind of speaking about, obviously you're looking towards international performance. I know that Berserker was just telling Digon about how he really wants to beat one of the Asian teams. And Sven was talking about how excited NRG were when they made it into the finals weekend, going to Worlds, how with Cloud9 it's a bit more expectedly and deservedly so. Fudge, what do you think of how that energy plays into not just how you're preparing for these matches, but is there a benefit kind of that been there, done that, we're going to try and do it again?
I mean, we have a lot of confidence and decisiveness, but just because we've been in these positions on stage with high pressure situations. But I mean, I think it's nice that they sort of haven't gone to Worlds very often as players, so they're very excited about it. Obviously for us, we've already gone internationally quite a bit recently, so we're not as hype about it. And I feel like none of us are really going to seem that excited as they were until we like win against an Asian team internationally. And then we'll feel that excitement because that's like the new goal, I guess, the next step for us. And obviously, winning NA is what we're focusing on right now. But we're all pretty confident that's going to be easy, I guess.
Easy peasy, Fudge says. But on that note, in terms of kind of creating that legacy in North America, you already did the back-to-back championships. There's not many teams that have done so 3 times. So I know, looking towards, international, there's always that pressure. But there is something about how when we look back at the LCS, we remember the Team Liquid run, for instance. Do you think anything of that, Blabber? For instance, you've been on the stage, you've been MVP of both finals and of the season, and what that would mean to you and Cloud9 to have a three-peat?
I mean, I think it would show a lot for us as a team. I think it's me, Fudge, Berserker, and Sven, like as the core. I guess M&S now too would be his second. I think it shows a lot of like longevity of our roster. I think it's really not easy to win like back-to-back, even because people catch up and sometimes you, I don't know, get cocky, get overconfident, and you just play worse. And I'm just really happy that we're all working really hard on our team. And I feel like we haven't really overlooked our opponents, looked down on them. And I think that's really what's been keeping us going for so long.
Yeah, stringing some 3-0s together here.
Right after I said it would be easy.
It's your hard work that's making it easy, though, Fudge.
Fair enough.
Fudge, who's going to be with you in the finals?
I hope it's Team Liquid, because I want to beat Summit. But I think if I were to guess, probably GGS right now. I think they look the strongest, and also playing against Licorice will be fun again.
True. He did say in that one piece how he took his job at one point, but he seems to be thriving on Golden Guardians. Blabber, who do you think is going to be there?
I also think it'll be Golden Guardians.
All right, Golden Guardians is the call from both of y'all. We'll see what thoughts the rest of your teammates have. I know they're hanging out with the lounge in just a bit. We are going to kick it to a break, though. Thank you all for joining me. And on the other side, you'll hear from the rest of Cloud9 before closing out the day.